came up with in my early 20s. And I, I don't. I've always been fascinated by the idea of, or having a large buried thing that you find. The excitement and the mysteriousness of that. I grew up playing games like Myst. Were these completely alien, sorts of worlds that felt very grounded and had their own laws of physics. And a lot of times those puzzles would be based on those things. And you'd be, traveling around in these completely unknown places and reading books. Not full books, but, chapters, of books in a video game world, and you're learning about these people. The world itself is devoid of people at the time, but you're learning about history where it was full of people, and you're learning all these cool secrets, and you're discovering little things here and there, and you feel like you're getting to know these people. And I love the idea of that. I love the idea of stumbling upon ruins and just getting to know the world before you, and I guess out of that, because I was very, very young. I was probably 5 years old when I first played Myst, maybe 6 when my family rented it and we played it together. But that's always stuck with me. Or even the Legend of Zelda. You get to find like ancient civilizations where you get to travel back in time, and so as a kid, I would take things that looked ancient, and like I would bury them and then dig them up later, or I'd watch like The Mummy, in The Mummy he wore a mask for a little bit, and I'd make clay masks and bury them in the sand and stuff and dig them up later. And I'd been writing journals since I was probably 12, and I had made this box with all the CDs, because at the time I had finally scanned them into a computer, and I had CDs upon CDs, like a stack of how much it took to hold all my journals that were scanned in. I was going to make this, box that looked like Egyptian, sort of like it would have hieroglyphics that would spell my name or whatever, and I was planning on burying it, and I had CDs, copies of these hidden in different places, because it was so easy to lose those things. And at the time I was very unstable, more unstable than I am now, and moving around so much, it was hard to keep anything. And maybe that was a part of it too. The idea of saving something, keeping it for the future, something that's uncorruptible, something that always holds fast. And that what a concept. But as a 16-year-old who's hitchhiking across the country and was, moved like 10 times in 1 year, that's kind of something magical. So I came up with the art in my early 20s. Like I must have been 21 years old, and it was just this idea of like a pyramid, being held up by this very hunched over person, because it's heavy. The labor and the work of what it is, of what it's holding is heavy, and and his body reflects the decrepitness of having done all that work, but it's also stylized, reflecting the art that's held within it, and it's an arc. The biblical arc holds the Ten Commandments, something sacred, something meaningful. And to me, this is the most meaningful thing that I can do, is to hold up my life's work, a life's work of artwork, sculpting, of pain, and put it all together as a gift. But it's also saving it. And I came up with it wanting to make it, but I didn't know how when I was 20. I didn't know how to make something that's 4 or 5 feet tall that would do that. So I gave up on it. but again, it's the year, it seems like, of revisiting old projects, and maybe it's a way for me to move on. Maybe it's a way for me to like accept and complete some of these bucket list projects, and then it's a way for me to move on to the next phase of my life. But much like Harry Potter, they have like Horcruxes. Voldemort has Horcruxes, and I want to say in D&D it's called phylacteries or something. If you're a D&D fan, please fucking forgive me, because I know I just mispronounced that, but you understand what I'm saying. So it's the idea of creating this and then putting it in different places. And the cool thing about it is there's a whole statue there, but the top part is what all the information is stored in. And I can take just that if I wanted to and make copies of it and put it in random places, in the woods, in venues, in bars, in theaters, wherever, whoever will allow me to do it. I don't want to break any laws. Maybe one day in a city square, and just in that way save it. And maybe one day in the distant past, or sorry, Jesus Christ, one day in the distant future, maybe somebody will stumble upon that, and they'll discover all that pain and beauty and art and what I've done. Maybe and maybe in that way I'll give somebody else the feeling that I had when I was playing Myst and I discovered all those things about that magical world. Maybe I can give that to somebody else, and that excites me very much. So the basic concept is just that I've made a pyramid out of clay, and it's got cavities in it, and I'll take a silicone mold of that and then cast that into resin, and then I can take flash drives and air tags and put them in the pyramid, so that you can connect your phone and download my books, or hit the air tag and it'll take you to my website, or my Etsy, or maybe the other flash drive will give you all of my artwork for free. I can change it up, and then I'll take foam and I'll carve the body and the person holding up the art, and then I'll cover that in Mod Podge, and then I'll cover that in clay, and then I'll take a two-part mold of that, and then I can pour concrete into the structure thing. Now you have a statue holding up this, resin art, resin pyramid, and I could throw lights in there. It could be a it could be whatever you want. And because of the mold, I could make the heart. And I could also take a scan of that and then have somebody 3D print this in miniature or, on a grand scale. How fun is that? How cool is that? Just the idea of being able to, in a small quantity, mass produce something almost, with, cutting down on the work and the cost, and being able to share that with the world, especially if I get to move around. I could take this to different cities and stuff. And in that way, I don't have to worry about losing my CDs and my thumb drives. But yeah. So the umu that I was using was really, really goopy, and I'm pretty sure it was expired, so I kind of made a mess. It should be very, very low viscosity, like a syrup, and this was chunky. This was acting like it was drying before I got it, and now it's not drying, so I'm a little worried that I fucked up pretty bad because they sent me a bad product and I attempted to use it. listen to me.
More stuff?
Yeah.
Is it gonna bind?
I fucking hope so.
I hope so too.
If it doesn't, I suck.
Well,
Hey, but you know what? You live and you die. I mean, you learn. You live and you learn. All right. Let me just make sure this is a 1-to-1 ratio.
proceed the party.
You know what I just realized? I don't think this little cup is going to be big enough. Hey, you see anything in there about how much time it takes to set up? How much time
How
it
much
should...
wood gain to put into it? Under properly prolong curing time or use talcum powder to sprinkle on the surface after mixing. Seal a layer of plastic wrap on the surface of the container to isolate the air. You know, hours to cure.
It's a long time.
How long was the other one?
Not that long. This is pretty. Look how pretty it is.
Oh my god.
Woo! It's like a party in a cup.
Yeah, man. That
So,
was a phenomenal idea.
yeah, good for you. Good on you.
So we're gonna go.
Yeah, there's way too much space in this mold. I was way not thinking that it was going to be like this much room. And now we're leaking.
Not cool, bro.
Almost. I bet one more like amount like this would do it. Oh no, what do we do?
Find a way to. Yup.
It's leaking out of all sides. Every time I do a mold, I swear to fuck nuts, it always does this to me. I've never once poured one fucking mold that held water. I swear to God. The first time I made an angel statue, dude, oh my fuck. I had to like, you don't even know. I had to keep pouring resin into that motherfucker until it just filled itself up. It took like months of me pouring resin into that bitch. Both angel statues.
Oh, that's much better. We can switch lenses nowadays and get like a back view.
Yeah.
So now I can, like,
Look at the volume here. If it holds, we'll be doing.
we can zoom in.
I dare not pour more. I could pour more, but I'm afraid the pressure would cause it to drain. So
Initially, when it started to leak, that's what I was gonna say. Fix your leak and maybe let that cure.
and then pour more.
And because once that's cured, it ain't gonna leak no more.
But seeing how much that, like, dude, this is gonna end up being like 3 sizes of this to do the other side. While I can't recommend doing it this way, I'm not going to tell you not to. I know this project is about to involve making a structure around these things. Oh man! Did they not give me a fucking blade? Oh wait, hold on. They gave me one. This. And the art clay thing itself, so I can connect it to a centrifuge. So I went ahead and bought this, even though I ought not. I ought not. I'm poor, as fuck, but I will fucking make art. And that is the way of the poor people. So the goal here is to fill up space so that the mold rubber doesn't have to do as much. I also made these little pieces to put down in spaces like this against the edge. I just want to not use so much mold rubber because I'm a poor bitch. Fun. Here's what we're gonna do. This is the catastrophe of a mold that I've been working on. I'm going to use some sealant and go around these edges and get it all nice and sealed. And then I'm going to pour the last bit of rubber I have into this. And once that dries, I'm going to do my best to transfer it into this box. I'm also going to use some seal to go around the inside of this to make this watertight, because as you can see, it is fucking not. I want myself, baby, fuck it, maybe, we care, you try, and we dare. This is definitely going to need more coats. That should be like a decent start. Pretty fucking cool. The box says curing time will increase if I increase the temperature, so I bumped it up to fucking 80 and I'm gonna be miserable, but this bitch is gonna cure. So you can see that there's a leak because it's coming out the bottom. There's no telling where in the fuck this mold is coming through. It's probably right here because that's when I pushed against this wall. There is nothing I can do. You can see a little bit right here. And that's probably, oh, yep, there we go. And that's probably just back pressure from the new liquid. So it's gonna drain until it is bottomed out with those leaks. This looks like it's pretty high. This might not be. So now it's leak versus cure time. I've cranked it up to 80 degrees. So we're gonna see if we can get it to cure faster than it's pouring out. If this cures and dries above that pyramid, I will go ahead and demold this and put it in that box. That's the goal. The goal is to have that be the last pour for this side. So we can flip it and start doing the other side of the pyramid. God, what a goddamn hassle. We have lost a significant amount of mold rubber, which is just fucking shitty. Look at all that piling down there. And there's no end in sight. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Because I'll have to buy another round of mold rubber just for this side. And who knows how many leaks that'll have. Every time I do a mold, it leaks. No failure. All the angel sculptures had to patch leak after leak, pouring resin. 50 more pounds of clay here and there. I got these wonderful clay working tools, and some of which I don't really know what they do. So I'm actually really excited. And then I've got kind of like an idea what to do with their legs here. So that's really fun. The good news is though, is that every time I do this, even though it pours out, it can't go lower than whatever hole it's leaking from. So every time I pour, it gains a little bit more height. And whenever it's done, I can cut this shit up, and then when I flip it, I can use that part and like drop it in to help raise the volume of the other side. So it's not a waste, it's just, you know, tedious. However, every time I do a mold, no matter what it is, whether it be the angel sculptures or anything, and this is not, you know, excluded, it always leaks. So you can see this is the second pour now that it keeps filling up the bottom. I was hoping that this would be it. The goal is that once it's solidified and it's above the fill line, I'll take it off. I'll take all the clay off. I'll take the pyramid and with the mold rubber, and then take it out and then flip it over and then put it in this box. And then I'll pour more mold rubber on top of that exposed pyramid, creating a 2-part mold. So I fuck with this every few days. It's just fucking expensive.
So what's so valuable that they're going to leave it in a church at night?
We'll go over the details of what you'll obtain for me when we get there. You'll all be very well compensated. question.
No, yes, do everything.
I'll make you find this object.
So what I'm gonna have to do now, and I totally didn't think about this, but I have to put saran wrap on the back side of it to partition two halves of the mold. So I'm gonna put saran wrap on the back side and then put clay over that, so I can create a lip, like a lip behind it, so I can rubber coat this side, and it has a lip to it. So we'll start again. And just pretend that nothing ever happened.